Ladies and gentlemen, success is not chased, it is attracted. This principle may sound counterintuitive in a world that constantly glorifies the hustle, the grind, and the endless pursuit of goals, but it carries timeless wisdom. Many people spend their lives chasing after success, exhausting themselves in the process. Yet the more they run, the more success seems to slip away. That is because success is not a finish line you sprint toward. It is a result of who you become along the journey. It is not about chasing rewards, but about transforming yourself into the kind of person who naturally draws those rewards. Just as a flower attracts bees not by running after them, but by blooming into its full beauty, success flows toward those who cultivate qualities that make them deserving of it. When you focus solely on chasing, you often compromise your peace, integrity, and balance. You begin to believe that happiness is somewhere in the future, tied to a destination, and you neglect the present. This mindset creates restlessness, impatience, and even desperation. But when you understand that success is attracted, your focus shifts from the external outcome to the internal process. You begin to ask yourself not, how do I get success? But how do I become the kind of person who success cannot ignore? This shift is powerful because it puts control back in your hands. You may not always control external circumstances, but you can always control your growth, your character, and your daily choices. Attraction happens through discipline. A disciplined person naturally stands out because consistency is rare in a world where many quit at the first sign of difficulty. Discipline means showing up even when you don't feel like it, working on your craft when nobody is watching, and committing to improvement over time. Success is drawn to discipline because it guarantees results. You cannot cheat the law of cause and effect if you consistently sow effort, focus, and patience. You will reap results. The disciplined individual doesn't need to chase opportunities endlessly. Opportunities begin to find them because the world trusts someone who can stay steady under pressure. Attraction also happens through values. When you value people, respect relationships, and operate with integrity, you become magnetic. In every field, people prefer to work with, support, and uplift those who treat others well. If you focus only on profit, you may win temporarily, but you will struggle to sustain success. On the other hand, if you focus on people, if you build trust and genuinely care, success follows you naturally because people want to associate with you. The opportunities, the partnerships, and the networks all begin to flow toward someone who values humanity over mere transactions. Success is not just about what you achieve, but about the lives you influence. And when you make a difference for others, success comes as a byproduct. Finally, attraction comes through growth. A person who keeps learning and evolving is like a magnet for success. Growth expands your perspective, sharpens your abilities, and builds resilience. The world rewards those who are adaptable, open-minded, and hungry for knowledge. Success chases people who outgrow their limitations and become better each day. Growth creates momentum, and momentum naturally pulls success closer. The truth is, success is not something you run after endlessly. It is something you prepare yourself for. By becoming disciplined, by valuing people, and by committing to lifelong growth, you turn yourself into a magnet. You don't chase success, it chases you, because who you are becoming is more powerful than anything you are pursuing. Discipline beats talent because talent, no matter how extraordinary, is limited without consistency, focus, and effort. Talent is a gift, something we are born with or naturally good at, but it is only the starting point of potential. Discipline, on the other hand, is a choice, a habit, and a commitment that shapes the future. The world is filled with talented people who never fulfill their potential simply because they lack the discipline to refine their skills, push through challenges, and stay consistent when motivation faded. At the same time, history shows countless examples of ordinary people with average talent who achieved greatness because they were disciplined enough to keep going when others gave up. Discipline is the bridge between talent and achievement. It transforms raw potential into measurable success. You may be gifted with intelligence, creativity, or physical ability, but if you do not apply yourself daily, your gift remains dormant. Discipline ensures that you show up even on days when you do not feel inspired. It forces you to train, to study, to practice, and to sharpen your skills over and over until excellence becomes second nature. Talent may give you a head start, but discipline keeps you in the race long after talent alone has run out of fuel. One of the reasons discipline is more powerful than talent is because talent can make people complacent. When you are naturally good at something, you might rely too heavily on it, assuming it will carry you through every situation. But without discipline, talent stagnates. Discipline, however, does not rely on natural ability. It thrives on persistence and effort. A disciplined person understands that small, consistent steps over time lead to massive results. While a talented person may achieve quick wins, a disciplined person achieves lasting success because they do not stop at the first obstacle. Discipline also creates resilience. Challenges, failures, and setbacks are part of every journey. Whether you are talented or not, talent may crumble under pressure because it was never tested through consistent struggle, but discipline builds mental strength. When you train yourself to keep going regardless of circumstances, you develop a toughness that talent alone cannot provide. This resilience attracts opportunities and ensures that you are ready to handle them when they come. In the long run, resilience outperforms raw skill because it equips you to handle both success and failure with balance. Moreover, discipline multiplies talent. Even if you are talented, discipline helps you maximize that gift. It allows you to refine your natural strengths, polish your abilities, and expand your potential far beyond its original state. Without discipline, talent remains an untapped resource. With discipline, even a small talent can be amplified into greatness. Imagine two musicians, one naturally gifted but lazy, the other less talented but disciplined in practice. Over time, the disciplined musician surpasses the talented one because consistent practice perfects skills that talent alone cannot sustain. Discipline also builds trust. In any professional or personal setting, people value reliability over brilliance. A disciplined individual is dependable, steady, and consistent. Others know they can count on them to deliver, to show up, and to give their best effort. This dependability often opens more doors than talent because the world rewards consistency more than flashes of genius. In the end, talent may give you an advantage, but discipline defines your destiny. Discipline sustains effort, nurtures resilience, and multiplies potential. While talent may impress people initially, discipline earns long-term respect and results. Success is not about what you are naturally born with, but about how hard you are willing to work, how consistent you are willing to remain, and how resilient you are in the face of challenges. Discipline beats talent every single time. Talent may open doors, but only discipline keeps them open because talent creates the first impression, while discipline sustains long-term success. Talent can get you noticed, it can give you opportunities, and it can place you in rooms where others may struggle to enter. It is often the spark that catches attention. But talent alone is not enough to maintain those opportunities because doors once open do not stay open automatically. They require consistent effort, reliability, and steady performance. Discipline is what ensures that the initial chance given by talent turns into lasting growth and achievement. Many people in life achieve sudden breakthroughs because of their gifts. A singer with a beautiful voice may get an audition. An athlete with natural skill may get selected for a team, or a student with sharp intelligence may earn a scholarship. These are doors that talent has opened. But what happens next? If the singer does not practice, their voice will weaken. If the athlete does not train, their body will lose its edge. If the student does not study consistently, their intelligence will not be enough to sustain academic success. In every case, discipline is the factor that keeps the door of opportunity open. Without discipline, the door slowly closes. No matter how talented a person may be, talent can often create illusions of permanence. People sometimes believe that because they are naturally good at something, they will always succeed. This belief leads to complacency. Complacency is the enemy of growth, and without growth, doors that were once open begin to shut. Discipline protects against complacency because it requires you to show up daily, put in effort, and refine your skills. Discipline ensures that you do not rely solely on your talent, but continue to develop yourself. It turns moments of opportunity into sustained success. Discipline also builds credibility, which is critical for keeping doors open. Talent might impress people at first, but over time, people are less interested in what you can do once and more interested in what you can do consistently. Employers, leaders, and partners all value dependability. A disciplined person who consistently delivers will always be trusted, more than a talented person who performs only when they feel like it. Trust is what keeps opportunities alive, and discipline is what creates that trust. Talent gets you invited, but discipline makes you stay. Another reason discipline is more important than talent in the long run is that challenges are inevitable. When difficulties arise, talent may not be enough to push you through. Many talented individuals give up when things get tough because they never built the habit of perseverance. Discipline, however, prepares you for hardship. It trains you to persist, to adapt, and to continue even when circumstances are not favorable. This resilience ensures that you not only enter through doors, but also remain standing when storms come. Talent may shine in the good times, but discipline shines in both good and bad. Furthermore, discipline allows talent to grow. The more disciplined you are, the more your talent evolves. Without discipline, talent remains stagnant and eventually becomes irrelevant in a world that is constantly changing. Discipline makes sure you are always learning, always improving, and always strengthening the abilities that talent gave you. By refining your gift with consistent effort, you make yourself indispensable. And this keeps doors open for as long as you desire. In essence, talent may give you opportunities, but it is discipline that maintains them. Doors do not stay open for those who only impress once. They stay open for those who prove themselves reliable, consistent, and committed. Discipline is the factor that turns talent into a legacy, and without it, even the widest door of opportunity will eventually close. Value people, not just profit. Because true success is not measured only by financial gain, but by the relationships you build, the trust you create, and the impact you leave behind. Profit can certainly bring comfort, recognition, and growth, but without valuing people, profit alone becomes empty and unsustainable. The world is filled with stories of organizations and individuals who chased profit at the cost of people and lost everything in the long run. On the other hand, those who prioritize people naturally attract loyalty, opportunities, and lasting prosperity. When people feel respected and cared for, they are willing to go the extra mile, and that creates an environment where profit flows as a natural outcome rather than the sole focus. When you value people, you begin to understand that every achievement is the result of collective effort. No one succeeds entirely alone. Behind every successful business, career, or dream are people who supported, guided, or collaborated. Recognizing this truth creates humility and gratitude, which further strengthens bonds. If you see people only as tools for profit, relationships become transactional and trust disappears. But when you see people as human beings with emotions, dreams, and dignity, you create connections that last beyond any business deal. Such connections become the foundation of not only professional success, but also personal fulfillment. Focusing only on profit often leads to short-term thinking. It makes decisions self-centered and sometimes harmful. Companies that exploit workers, compromise quality, or ignore customer trust may make money for a while but eventually collapse because they fail to value people. In contrast, companies and leaders who care about their employees, serve their customers genuinely, and give back to their communities build legacies that endure. Profit can be earned in many ways, but respect and trust can only be earned by valuing people. And once trust is broken, no amount of profit can buy it back. Valuing people also creates loyalty. Whether in a workplace, a friendship, or a family, people stay where they are valued. A team member who feels appreciated will work with passion and dedication. A customer who feels respected will remain loyal to a brand, even in times of competition. A friend or partner who feels valued will stand by you in moments of difficulty. Profit may come and go, but loyalty stays, and loyalty often becomes the true engine of sustainable success. Moreover, when you value people, you inspire growth, not only in them, but also in yourself. By investing in others, encouraging their potential, and supporting their journeys, you expand your own influence. People remember those who lifted them, who believed in them, and who stood by them when others didn't. The impact you create in the lives of people becomes a legacy far greater than material wealth. In the end, people may forget how much money you made, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Valuing people does not mean neglecting profit. Rather, it means putting people at the center of profit. When decisions are made with empathy and fairness, profits are not only achieved but sustained. The most successful leaders and businesses understand that profit is a result, not a goal in itself. The goal is to serve, to uplift, and to build. Profit naturally follows those who genuinely care for people, while those who chase profit at the cost of people eventually run empty. Success that is built on profit alone may fade, but success built on valuing people stands the test of time. When you value people, you create trust, loyalty, respect, and goodwill. These are currencies far more powerful than money because they attract endless opportunities. Profit may fill your bank, but valuing people fills your life with meaning. And that is the kind of success that never diminishes. Success is not just money in the bank, but the lives you touch. Because true fulfillment does not come from accumulating wealth alone. It comes from making a positive difference in the world around you. Money is important and necessary for survival, comfort, and opportunities. But if life is measured only by numbers in an account, it becomes shallow and empty. The greatest successes in history are remembered not for how much they earned, but for how much they contributed. A person who changes lives, uplifts others, and spreads kindness leaves an impact that outlives money and fame. When we measure success only by wealth, it dies with us. But when we measure it by lives touched, it becomes a legacy. Touching lives means going beyond yourself. It means realizing that your skills, opportunities, and resources are not just for personal gain, but for the benefit of others. Imagine a teacher who inspires students, a doctor who saves lives, an entrepreneur who creates jobs, or even an ordinary person who shows kindness and compassion to others. These acts may not always make headlines, but they create ripples that spread far and wide. The gratitude of the people you help, the respect of the community you serve, and the love of those you uplift carry more weight than money ever can. Wealth can vanish, but the difference you make in someone's life endures. When success is defined only by money, it can lead to selfishness, greed, and isolation. People who chase money at all costs often find themselves alone, even if they are surrounded by luxury. They may own expensive possessions, but they miss the warmth of meaningful relationships and the joy of being valued for who they are rather than what they own. In contrast, those who touch lives attract love, respect, and genuine connection. They may or may not be wealthy, but they are rich in ways money cannot buy. They are remembered, celebrated, and cherished because they gave something more valuable than wealth. They gave themselves. Success is also about creating a chain reaction of positivity. When you touch someone's life, you often inspire them to do the same for others. A single act of kindness or encouragement can spark countless others. This is how legacies are built, not through bank accounts but through human hearts. For example, a mentor who believes in a struggling young person may inspire them to succeed, and later that individual may mentor others. The cycle of impact continues, reaching far beyond what money could achieve. This ripple effect is the true measure of meaningful success. Furthermore, when you focus on touching lives, money often follows naturally. Businesses that serve people with honesty and care thrive because people trust them. Leaders who put their teams well, being first earn loyalty and higher performance. Innovators who create products to genuinely solve problems are rewarded with growth. By prioritizing people, profits become a natural result rather than the sole objective. This is why some of the most respected and enduring institutions are those that placed people at the heart of their mission. At the end of life, people do not measure their success by how much money they leave behind, but by how many lives they impacted. No one is remembered fondly for their bank balance, but they are remembered for their generosity, their kindness, and the love they gave. The real wealth of life lies in memories, relationships, and the mark you leave on others' hearts. Money can buy comforts, but it cannot buy meaning. Meaning comes only from touching lives, from giving back, and from knowing you made the world better because you were here. Success is not just about financial achievement. It is about emotional, social, and spiritual contribution. A life focused only on wealth is incomplete, but a life that touches others becomes truly successful. When you leave this world, the money in your bank will stay behind, but the lives you touched will carry your legacy forward. Keep learning and growing, because life never stops teaching. And the moment you stop being a student, you stop moving forward. Knowledge is infinite, and no matter how much you know or how skilled you become, there is always room for improvement. Growth is not a one-time achievement, but a lifelong process of refining yourself, expanding your abilities, and adapting to new challenges. The world is constantly changing, and those who keep learning stay relevant, while those who stop soon fall behind. Success belongs not to the one who knows the most at a given time, but to the one who continues to learn and grow every day. Learning keeps your mind alive. When you embrace learning as a habit, you nurture curiosity and creativity. You begin to see opportunities where others see obstacles, and solutions where others see problems. A person who continues to learn is never stagnant, because each lesson adds a new layer of wisdom. Whether it is through books, experiences, failures, or conversations, every source of knowledge enriches you and prepares you for greater challenges ahead. Growth happens when you are humble enough to admit that you do not know everything, and wise enough to seek more understanding. Growth also builds resilience. Life will test you with setbacks, failures, and unexpected turns. If you stop growing, these challenges can break you, but if you continue to learn, Each setback becomes a lesson, and each failure becomes a stepping stone. Growth is not about avoiding mistakes, but about learning from them. Every difficulty carries wisdom, and every struggle carries a hidden opportunity. When you are committed to growth, no experience is wasted, because even pain teaches you something valuable. Another reason to keep learning and growing is that it creates adaptability. The world today is evolving faster than ever. Technology, industries, and even lifestyles change rapidly. Skills that were valuable yesterday may become irrelevant tomorrow. If you cling only to what you know, you risk being left behind. But if you are willing to learn, you can adapt, reinvent yourself, and thrive in any environment. The most successful people are not those who never face change, but those who embrace it with an open mind and the willingness to grow. Growth also expands your influence. The more you learn, the more you have to share with others. Knowledge is not meant to be hoarded. It is meant to inspire, uplift, and guide. When you grow, you empower others to grow too. People are drawn to those who are constantly evolving because they radiate inspiration and confidence. A person who refuses to grow may temporarily hold a position, but a person who keeps learning naturally becomes a leader because growth makes you an example worth following. Beyond external success, continuous learning also brings inner fulfillment. It gives life depth and meaning. Imagine living without growth, repeating the same routines, thinking the same thoughts, and never stretching yourself. Such a life quickly becomes dull and uninspiring. Growth adds excitement because each day holds a chance to become better than you were yesterday. It fuels motivation, builds confidence, and strengthens character. Every step of growth is proof that you are not stuck, but progressing toward your best self. Keep learning and growing because success is not a destination but a journey. Money, titles, and recognition may fade, but the wisdom you gain and the person you become will stay with you forever. Growth makes you stronger, wiser, and more capable of handling whatever life places before you. When you commit to lifelong learning, you ensure that no matter how much the world changes, you will always rise to meet it with courage and wisdom.